Ronda Rousey. Abstract. Ronda Jean Rousey is an American professional wrestler, actress, author, and former mixed martial artist and judoka who has been signed to WWE as a wrestler since 2018. Her long-standing nickname, Rowdy, was inherited from late professional wrestler Roddy Piper, after becoming the first American woman to earn an Olympic medal in judo by winning bronze at their 2008 Summer Olympics. Rousey began pursuing a career in mixed martial arts, MMA. She won her MMA debut for King of the Cage before going to Strikeforce, where she became the last ever Strikeforce Women's Bantamweight champion before the Ultimate Fighting Championship, UFC, bought Strikeforce in 2011. She was their inaugural female champion when she was named UFC Women's Bantamweight champion. Rousey took part in the first women's fight in UFC history when she successfully defended her title against Liz Carmouche at UFC 157. After setting the record for most UFC title defenses by a woman. 6. Rousey had her first professional loss in MMA when she lost her title to Holly Holm this year in 2018. She became the first female fighter to be inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame. In 2018, Rousey began a career in professional wrestling, signing a contract with WWE. She debuted at WrestleMania 34, and later won the Raw Women's Championship, her first WWE and professional wrestling title. At SummerSlam this year she then headlined the inaugural WWE All-Women's Pay-Per-View event when she successfully defended her title against Nikki Bella at WWE Evolution. Rousey had her first WWE loss when she lost her title in the first ever Women's WrestleMania main event to Becky Lynch in a triple threat match at WrestleMania 35. This left her reign as Raw Women's Champion as the second longest in the title's history at 231 days. She has also enjoyed success as an actress and author, appearing in the films The Expendables 3, 2014, Furious 7, 2015, and Mile 22, 2018, and releasing her autobiography My Fight, Your Fight in 2015. Rousey is the only woman to win a championship in both the UFC and WWE, as well as the only woman to headline a pay-per-view event in both companies. Rousey was voted the best female athlete of all time in a 2015 ESPN fan poll, and Fox Sports described her as one of the defining athletes of the 21st century. Early life. Ronda Jean Rousey was born in Riverside, California on February 1, 1987, the youngest of three daughters of Anne Maria DeMars and Ron Rousey, after whom she was named. Her mother, a decorated judoka, was the first American to win a World Judo Championship. In 1984, Rousey is of English, Polish, and, through her maternal grandfather, Trinidadian and Venezuelan ancestry. Her Venezuelan grandfather was partly of Afro-Venezuelan descent and her Trinidadian maternal great-grandfather, Alfred E. Waddell, was a doctor who emigrated to Canada and became one of the first black physicians in North America. Her stepfather is an aerospace engineer. Her biological father, after breaking his back sledding with his daughters and learning that he would be a paraplegic, committed suicide in 1995 when Rousey was 8. Anne Maria pursued a Ph.D. in educational psychology at the University of California, Riverside as her daughters grew up. For the first 6 years of her life, Rousey struggled with speech and could not form an intelligible sentence due to apraxia, a neurological childhood speech-sound disorder. This speech disorder was attributed to being born with umbilical cord wrapped around her neck. When Rousey was 3 years old, her mother and father moved from Riverside, California, to Jamestown, North Dakota, to obtain intensive speech therapy with specialists at Minot State University. Rousey dropped out of high school and later earned her GED. She was raised between Jamestown and Southern California. retiring from her judo career at 21 and starting her MMA career at 22 when she realized that she did not want to spend her life in a conventional field of work. Olympic judo career. Rousey began judo with her mother at the age of 11. Rousey trained with her mother until she was 13, when she accidentally broke her mother's wrist at 17. Rousey was the youngest judoka to qualify for the 2004 Olympic Games in Athens. Rousey lost in her first match to silver medalist Claudia Heil in the 63 kg bracket. Also in 2004, Rousey won a gold medal at the World Junior Judo Championships in Budapest, Hungary. In April 2006, she became the first female U.S. judoka in nearly 10 years to win an A-level tournament as she went 5-0 to claim gold at the Birmingham World Cup in Great Britain. Later that year, the 19-year-old won the bronze medal at the Junior World Championships, becoming the first U.S. athlete to win 2 junior world medals. In February 2007, Rousey moved up to 70 kilograms where she ranked as one of the top 3 women in the world. She won the silver medal at the 2007 World Judo Championships in the middleweight division and the gold medal at the 2007 Pan American Games. In August 2008, Rousey competed at the 2008 Olympic Games in Beijing, China. She lost her quarter-final to the Dutch ex-world champion Edith Bosch but qualified for a bronze medal match through the repechage bracket. Rousey defeated Annette Bohm by Yuko to win a bronze medal. Judo offers 2 bronze medals per weight class. With the victory, Rousey became the first American to win an Olympic medal in women's judo since its inception as an Olympic sport in 1992. Mixed martial arts career. Rousey retired from judo at 21 after the Olympics. After winning her Olympic medal, Rousey shared a studio apartment with a roommate in Venice Beach, California and worked 3 jobs as a bartender and cocktail waitress to support herself and her dog. When Rousey started learning judo, her mother took her to judo clubs run by her old teammates. Rousey went to Hayastan MMA Academy, which was run by Gokorchavichian, where she trained with fellow future MMA fighters Manny Gamboyan and Cairo Parisian. According to Rousey, Hayastan practiced a more brawling style of judo versus the more technical Japanese style. Rousey trained mostly with males bigger than she was and often got frustrated and cried when she got thrown and could not throw somebody. Probably from 2002 to 2005 I cried every single night of training, Rousey remarked. Rousey trained closely with Gamboyan. After injuring her knee when she was 16, Gamboyan volunteered to open the gym every afternoon and work with her personally. Back in 2004, her teammates thought Rousey would kill these girls in MMA, but also thought she was too pretty to get hit in the face and should keep doing judo. While Gamboyan and Parisian went into MMA, Rousey stuck with judo but remained in touch with MMA through the Monsieur. The first MMA fight she took an interest in watching was Manny Gamboyan vs Nate Diaz in the Ultimate Fighter finale. Rousey stated she never got as excited watching judo or any other sport. After the 2008 Olympics the following year, she decided to start MMA through Team Hayastan. Rousey also trained at the Glendale Fighting Club, to which she was introduced by Gamboyan and other Hayastan teammates. She started training under her long-term MMA coach Edmund Tarvajan at GFC. She trained in jiu-jitsu at Dynamix MMA with Henry Atkins from 2011 to 2014 and went on to train with Ryan Grace and Rena Gracie of Gracie Academy, as well as BJ Penn of Art of Jiu-Jitsu. Rousey made her mixed martial arts debut as an amateur on August 6, 2010. She defeated Hayden Munoz by submission due to an armbar in 23 seconds. She entered the quarterfinals of the Tough Enough 145 pounds women's tournament on November 12, 2010, and submitted promotional veteran Autumn Richardson with an armbar in 57 seconds. Rousey faced Taylor Stratford in the Tough Enough Tournament semi-finals on January 7, 2011, and won by technical submission due to an armbar in 24 seconds. She then announced plans to turn pro and was replaced in the tournament. Rousey has a 3-0 record in amateur MMA competition, and the combined duration of all her amateur fights is under 2 minutes. Rousey made her professional mixed martial arts debut on March 27, 2011, at King of the Cage. Turning point. She submitted Ediane Gomez with an armbar in 25 seconds. Rousey faced kickboxing champion Charmaine Tweet in an MMA bout at Hard Knocks Fighting Championship, School of Hard Knocks 12 on June 17, 2011, in Calgary, Canada. She submitted Tweet with an armbar in 49 seconds. Rousey was scheduled to make her Strikeforce debut against Sarah D'Alelio on July 30, 2011, at Strikeforce. Fedor vs. Henderson in Hoffman Estates, Illinois. The fight was postponed and eventually took place on the Strikeforce Challenges 18 main card on August 12, 2011, in Las Vegas, Nevada. Rousey defeated D'Alelio by technical submission due to an armbar early in the first round. The victory was controversial. Rousey claimed that D'Alelio yelled "tap" more than once and that D'Alelio denied this and claimed to have yelled "AAAAHHH." According to the unified rules of mixed martial arts, either one of these utterances would still be a verbal submission. Rousey faced Julia Budd at Strikeforce Challenges 20 on November 18, 2011, in Las Vegas. She won via submission due to an armbar in the first round, dislocating Budd's elbow in the process. Following the fight, she announced plans to move down to 135 pounds to challenge Miesha Tate, the Strikeforce women's bantamweight champion at the time, with whom she had developed a much-publicized rivalry. During his appearance on the Joe Rogan Experience, Rousey's trainer Edmond Tarvajan said that Rousey started her MMA career in the 145 pounds division because she had to be able to make weight at short notice. Due to the difficulty of finding willing opponents, Rousey challenged Tate for her Strikeforce title on March 3, 2012, in Columbus, Ohio. She defeated Tate by submission due to an armbar in the first round, again dislocating her opponent's elbow, to become the new Strikeforce Women's Bantamweight Champion. Rousey appeared in All Access. Ronda Rousey on Showtime. The half-hour special debuted on August 8, 2012. UFC President Dana White revealed during the program that, in the next 10 years, if there's a woman in the octagon, it's probably going to be Ronda Rousey. The second installment of the special aired on August 15, 2012. Rousey also appeared on Conan. Rousey defended her Strikeforce title against Sarah Kaufman at Strikeforce. Rousey vs. Kaufman on August 18, 2012, in San Diego, California. Rousey said that she would throw Kaufman's arm at her corner after ripping it off with an armbar, and threatened to choke or pound Kaufman's face to death. During the fight, Rousey quickly took Kaufman down and submitted her with an armbar in 54 seconds to retain their Strikeforce Women's Bantamweight Championship. After the fight, Rousey announced that her former Strikeforce Women's Featherweight Champion Christiane "Cyborg" Santos wanted to fight her. It would have to take place at Bantamweight. In November 2012, the Ultimate Fighting Championship announced that Rousey had become the first female fighter to sign with the UFC. UFC President Dana White officially announced at the UFC on Fox Henderson vs. Diaz pre-fight press conference that Rousey was the first UFC Women's Bantamweight Champion. Rousey originally opposed using the nickname her friends gave her, Rowdy, feeling it would be disrespectful to professional wrestler Roddy Piper. After meeting Piper, circa 2012 or 2013, through Gene LaBelle, who helped train both of them, Piper personally gave his approval. Rousey defended her title against Liz Carmouche on February 23, 2013, at UFC 157. Despite being caught in an early standing neck crank attempt from Carmouche, Rousey went on to successfully defend her bantamweight championship title, winning the fight at 4:49 into the first round by submission due to an armbar. Carmouche dislocated Ronda Rousey's jaw during the fight. After Kat Zingano defeated Miesha Tate at the Ultimate Fighter Team Jones vs. Team Sonnen finale, Dana White announced that Zingano would be a coach of the Ultimate Fighter 18 against Rousey on May 28, Zingano having suffered a knee injury. It was announced Miesha Tate would coach the Ultimate Fighter 18 against Rousey. Rousey faced Miesha Tate in a rematch from Strikeforce at UFC 168 on December 28, 2013. After going past the first 2 rounds, with Tate surviving an armbar attempt and a triangle attempt, Rousey finally submitted Tate via armbar in the 3rd round to retain her bantamweight championship. In an interview with Los Angeles Daily News, Rousey said she had lost muscle during her film commitments and not been able to regain her full strength for the Tate fight. It was announced at the UFC 168 post-fight press conference that Rousey would defend the UFC Women's Bantamweight Championship against fellow Olympic medalist and undefeated fighter Sarah McMahon in the main event at UFC 170 on February 22, 2014. Rousey won the fight by TKO after knocking down McMahon with a knee to the body just over a minute into the first round. This marked Rousey's first career win via a method other than armbar. The stoppage led to controversy, with some sports writers and attendants finding it premature. In 2014, Rousey was named one of Especial News Impact 25. On April 11, 2014, it was announced that Rousey would defend the UFC Women's Bantamweight Championship against Alexis Davis in the co-main event at UFC 175 on July 5, 2014. She won the fight via knockout 16 seconds into the first round. Rousey broke her thumb during the fight. The emphatic win also earned Rousey her second Performance of the Night bonus award. A match between Rousey and Kat Zingano was scheduled to take place at UFC 182 for the women's bantamweight title. However, the fight was moved to February 28, 2015. At UFC 184, Rousey defeated Zingano with an armbar in 14 seconds. The shortest match in UFC championship history until Conor McGregor defeated Jose Aldo in 13 seconds. 11 months later, Rousey fought Beto Correia on August 1, 2015, in Brazil, at UFC 190, winning the bout by knockout 34 seconds into the first round. Rousey dedicated the match to Roddy Piper, who died the day before, commenting that Piper was one of her inspirations and had endorsed her use of his nickname. The bout was Rousey's 6th with the UFC, all of which had been victories. She spent 1,077 seconds in the octagon to attain all 6 and accumulated $1,080,000 in prize money. This equated to nearly $1,002.79 for every second spent fighting. Her average time of 2 minutes and 59 seconds was less than the average time of a single match in every UFC weight class, the fastest of which was the heavyweight division with a time of 7 minutes and 59 seconds. In her 7th title defense, Rousey faced Holly Holm in the main event at UFC 193 on November 15, 2015. Despite being a heavy betting favorite, Rousey was unable to get Holm to the ground and had no answer for Holm's superior striking. Early in the second round, Holm knocked Rousey out by a high kick, ending Rousey's 3-year reign as champion. It was also her first loss. After the fight, Rousey and Holm were each awarded a Fight of the Night bonus of $50,000. She was also medically suspended by UFC on November 18, 2015. She was medically cleared on December 9, 2015. After over a year away from the sport, Rousey returned to face current champion Amanda Nunes on December 30. 2016. In the main event at UFC 207, she lost the fight via TKO due to punches at just 48 seconds into the first round, although she did not formally announce her retirement. When asked if she would fight MMA again by Ellen DeGeneres in 2018, Rousey replied, "I think it's just as likely as me going back to another Olympics for judo." She was inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame in July 2018. Main event and co-main event. The New Yorker, 2014. In a 2012 interview before her first match with Miesha Tate, Rousey said, "When I was doing judo, my main advantage was my conditioning and my pace. I used to wear people out." She had taken to heart a quote from Rio Kotani to fight every 5 seconds as if it was the last 5 seconds of the match. A decorated judoka, Rousey typically grounds an opponent with hip throws and sweeps, then seeks to finish with strikes or submissions. From top position, she usually attacks with punches from side control. In rear position, she often secures a back mount and attacks with head strikes. Rousey is right-handed, but is a left-handed judoka fighting in an orthodox stance as a striker. Rousey's favorite MMA fighter is Fedor Emelianenko, whose fighting style she works to emulate. Rousey is well known for her skill in grappling and is particularly noted for her string of victories by armbar against accomplished strikers, such as Julia Budd and Sarah Kaufman. Rousey has typically brought the fight down and sought a quick submission. Only powerful grapplers, such as Miesha Tate and Liz Carmouche, have been competitive with Rousey on the ground. During early fights in her MMA career, Rousey mainly used striking to set up judo. She became a more proficient striker following her UFC debut, leading to her first wins by way of stoppage. While standing, Rousey normally uses jabs, knees, and overhand rights. She seldom stood side-on with a set boxing stance, but would square up to the opponent, while still generating strong striking power, especially when near the fence, or clinching opponents with the left hand to close the distance. While discussing her signature armbar in an interview, Rousey noted that her judoka mother jumped on her every morning to wake her up with armbars. Rousey is notable for introducing trash-talking to women's MMA. In many interviews, Rousey has used harsh language and openly downplayed the abilities of her opponents, which she explains as a way to generate more publicity for the sport. Professional wrestling career. Rousey is a professional wrestling fan. She, Shayna Baszler, Jessamyn Duke and Marina Shafir have dubbed themselves the Four Horsewomen, a play on the Four Horsemen professional wrestling stable. With the blessing of members Ric Flair and Arn Anderson, the Four Horsewomen were acknowledged on camera and commentary as such, in the front row at WWE's SummerSlam event in August 2014. The group also went backstage during the event, meeting Paul Heyman, among others. Rousey was interviewed by WWE.com that night. When asked if she, like Brock Lesnar, would cross over to wrestling, she replied, "You never know." At WrestleMania 31 in March 2015, the Four Horsewomen were seated in the front row during an in-ring argument between The Rock and The Authority, Stephanie McMahon and Triple H. McMahon slapped The Rock and ordered him to leave her ring. She taunted him, saying he would not hit a woman. He left, paused and walked over to Rousey to a loud ovation. He then helped her into the ring and said that she would be happy to hit McMahon for Hi Monsieur. After a stare-down, The Rock attacked Triple H. When he stumbled toward Rousey, she tossed him out of the ring. McMahon tried to slap her, was blocked and Rousey grabbed her arm, teasing an armbar, before throwing her out of the ring. Rousey and The Rock celebrated in the ring, while The Authority retreated with the implication of revenge. The segment was replayed and discussed throughout the next night's Raw, with the commentators hyping a tweet Rousey made earlier that day, in which she implied a return to WWE with "We're just getting started." On July 13, 14, and September 12, 2017, The horsewomen appeared in the audience of the Mae Young Classic to support their compatriot Shayna Baszler, who was making her WWE debut in the tournament. Additionally, during the event, all four horsewomen had a face-off with Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, and Bayley, who, in WWE together with Sasha Banks, are also known as the Four Horsewomen, hinting at a possible future feud between the two groups. It was reported in 2017 that Rousey had signed with the WWE on a full-time basis and had been training at the WWE Performance Center in Orlando. Rousey made a surprise appearance at Royal Rumble on January 28, 2018, confronting Raw Women's Champion Alexa Bliss, SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair, and Asuka, who had just won the inaugural Women's Royal Rumble match. ESPN immediately revealed during the segment that she had signed a full-time contract with WWE. The jacket which Rousey wore during this appearance belonged to Roddy Piper, given to her by his son. On February 25 at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, Rousey was involved in an in-ring altercation with Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, after which she signed her contract in storyline, thus making her a part of the Raw brand. On the March 5 episode of Raw, it was announced that Rousey will make her in-ring debut WrestleMania 34, WWE's flagship event, in a mixed tag team match pitting Rousey and Kurt Angle as her partner against Stephanie McMahon and Triple H. At the event, Rousey submitted McMahon with her trademark armbar submission hold to secure the win for her team this year. Her debut performance was widely praised by both fans and wrestling critics, with Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer noting that she, at no point, looked out of her element. She was crisp in just about everything, calling her performance one of the better pro wrestling debuts I've ever seen. The Washington Post noted the positive fan reaction, stating, "The match exceeded expectations, with fans firmly behind Rousey, and surprised high-level coordination and quality of wrestling. Even those who were not agreed the match was entertaining." In May, after she was challenged by then-champion Nia Jax, it was announced that Rousey would get her first opportunity at the Raw Women's Championship at their next pay-per-view, Money in the Bank. At the event, Rousey went on to win the match by disqualification after an interference by Alexa Bliss, who attacked both Rousey and Jax and cashed in her Money in the Bank contract, which she won earlier that night, to win the title instead. For her first singles match and title opportunity, she was once again praised by fans and critics for her performance, with CNET stating, "For the first time, biggest mainstream star is a woman." They believe that despite worry was that the match would expose Rousey's own inexperience, which would greatly damage her aura and star power. She came across as a formidable, believable star wrestler. The match was good, but she was awesome. Throughout the next 2 months, Rousey would start her first feud as part of WWE with Alexa Bliss over the title, which included a suspension, again in kayfabe, after Rousey attacked Bliss, Kurt Angle and multiple officials. After honoring her suspension from in-ring competition, Rousey received a Raw Women's Championship match by Raw General Manager Kurt Angle against Bliss at SummerSlam this year. At the event on August 19, Rousey squashed Bliss to win the title, her first championship win in WWE, in a rematch between the two that took place a month later on September 16 at Hell in a Cell. Rousey once again submitted Bliss. Throughout her championship reign, Rousey went on to fend off title contenders such as Nikki Bella, Mickie James, Nia Jax, Natalya and Sasha Banks. In November, Rousey was supposed to face Becky Lynch at the Survivor Series pay-per-view in an inter-brand champion versus champion match. However, Lynch was legitimately injured during an invasion angle just minutes after she attacked Rousey backstage. At the event, Rousey faced Charlotte Flair instead, and won via disqualification after Flair attacked her with a kendo stick and steel chairs. A month later, on December 16, at TLC Tables, ladders and chairs. Rousey gained revenge against both Flair and Lynch as she pushed them off a ladder during their match, also helping Asuka win the SmackDown Women's Championship, shortly after she retained her title against Bayley. On the January 28, 2019, episode of Raw, Rousey continued her feud with Becky Lynch after the latter chose to challenge her in a title match at WrestleMania 35. On the February 11 episode of Raw, Vince McMahon suspended Lynch for 60 days in storyline and announced Charlotte Flair replaced Lynch as Rousey's WrestleMania opponent. On the March 4 episode of Raw, Rousey turned heel for the first time in her career when she cut a promo on fans and attacked both Flair and Lynch. At Fastlane, Lynch faced Flair in a match where if Lynch won, she would be inserted back into the Raw Women's Championship match at WrestleMania. Rousey attacked Lynch during the match, giving Lynch the disqualification victory and thus the WrestleMania triple threat match between Rousey, Flair and Lynch was made official. On March 25, WWE announced Rousey's title defense against Lynch and Flair would be the main event of WrestleMania 35, making it the first women's match to close WrestleMania. At the event, in what was changed to a winner-takes-all for Rousey's Raw and Flair's SmackDown Women's Championships, Lynch controversially pinned Rousey to win both titles. The commentary and production team commented that Rousey was in the ring saying her shoulders were not down for the full 3 count and showed a replay of the ending pinpointing this fact. Many fans and media were left wondering if this was a legitimate botched finish or if it was booked to end that way. Nonetheless, this gave Rousey her first loss in WWE and ended her championship reign at 231 days, making her the now second longest reigning Raw Women's Champion. Other ventures: Rousey appeared nude on the cover of ESPN, the magazine's 2012 body issue, and in a pictorial therein. In May 2013, Rousey was ranked 29 on the Maxim Hot 100. She also appeared on the cover and in a pictorial of the September 2013 issue. Rousey co-starred in The Expendables 3, 2014, marking her first role in a major motion picture. In 2015, she appeared in the film Furious 7, and played herself in the film Entourage. In 2015, Rousey became the first woman featured on the cover of Australian Men's Fitness, appearing on their November edition. In October 2015, Rousey became the first female athlete to guest host ESPN SportsCenter. Rousey was on the cover of the January 2016 issue for The Ring magazine. She became the first mixed martial artist to ever appear on the cover of the boxing magazine and the second woman as well, after Kathy Davis in 1978. In February 2016 she appeared in body paint as one of 3 cover athletes on the cover of the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. Rousey has had a range of commercial partnerships, including mobile network operator Metro PCS, insurance agency Insuron, Reebok, and Carl's Jr. Rousey hosted the January 23, 2016, episode of the late-night variety show Saturday Night Live, with musical guest Selena Gomez. Rousey appeared in the Season 2, Episode 20 episode of Blind Spot, playing the role of Devin Penberthy, a prison inmate serving time for transporting weapons across state lines. A number of starring film roles have been developed for Rousey, including an adaptation of her autobiography My Fight, Your Fight at Paramount, the Athena Project at Warner Bros., the Peter Berg-directed action film Mile 22. Rousey was scheduled to star in a remake of the 1989 Patrick Swayze action drama Roadhouse. Roadhouse would have marked her biggest acting job to date. According to Variety, Rousey reached out to Swayze's widow, Lisa Nemi, to ask for her blessing, which Nemi gave. However, the Roadhouse project was cancelled in 2016. On July 9, 2018, Rousey was confirmed as one of the 2 pre-order bonus characters for the video game WWE 2K19. The other being wrestling veteran Rey Mysterio. She previously appeared in EA Sports UFC, EA Sports UFC 2 and EA Sports UFC 3. On January 17, 2019, it was confirmed that Rousey would be voicing Sonya Blade in the video game Mortal Kombat 11. On August 18, 2019, it was revealed that Rousey is appearing as a recurring character Lena Bosco in the third season of Fox's 911 series. During her first day of shooting, she injured two fingers after her left hand was jammed in a boat door. The tip of her ring finger was fractured while her middle finger was broken with the tendon nearly severed. Rousey was rushed to the hospital, where her middle finger was mended with a metal plate and screws. On February 18, 2020, Rousey announced her first stream on Facebook Gaming and donated all stream profits to charity. Personal life. As of 2017, Rousey lives in Venice, California. Rousey became a vegan after Beijing 2008, but in 2012 described her diet as kind of a mix between a paleo and a warrior diet, trying to eat everything organic. Rousey has discussed how she struggled with her body image in the past. She explained, "When I was in school, martial arts made you a dork, and I became self-conscious that I was too masculine. I was a 16-year-old girl with ringworm and cauliflower ears. People made fun of my arms and called me Miss Man. It wasn't until I got older that I realized, these people are idiots. I'm fabulous." Rousey is an avid fan of Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon. Her favorite Pokemon is Mew, and she had a childhood crush on Vegeta. Christopher Sabat, the English voice actor of Vegeta, jokingly replied in an interview, "She has seen my power level for what it is. She also scares me." She also plays World of Warcraft, primarily as a night elf hunter. In 2015, she raised money by auctioning signed t-shirts for the Black Jaguar White Tiger Foundation, whose goal is to save big cats from circuses and zoos and provide them with the best lifestyle. In April 2015, Rousey visited Yerevan, Armenia for the 100th anniversary of the Armenian Genocide. While in Yerevan, she visited the Sitser-Nakaberd Armenian Genocide Memorial. Rousey endorsed Bernie Sanders' presidential campaign in the 2016 United States presidential election. In February 2016, in an interview with Ellen DeGeneres, Rousey admitted that suicidal thoughts went through her mind in the aftermath of her knockout loss to Holly Holm in November 2015. Rousey once dated fellow UFC fighter Brendan Schaub. In August 2015, Rousey was rumored to be in a relationship with UFC fighter Travis Browne, who knocked out Schaub in about the previous year. After a picture of the two together appeared on Twitter, and Browne's estranged wife Jenna Renee Webb accused the two of seeing one another. Browne was at the time still married and under investigation by the UFC after Webb publicly accused him of domestic violence back in July. Browne confirmed he and Rousey were together in October 2015. The next day, Rousey revealed that she was dating Browne. Rousey and Browne got engaged on April 20, 2017, in New Zealand and married on August 28, 2017 in Browne's home state of Hawaii. In her autobiography, My Fight, Your Fight, Rousey wrote of an incident with a former boyfriend she dubbed Snappers McCreepy, after she discovered that he had taken nude photos of her without her consent or knowledge. 2 weeks before her first fight with Miesha Tate, when a seething Rousey met him, she slapped him across the face so hard hand hurt. According to Rousey, he then refused to let her leave as he was trying to explain. So she attacked his face with 2 punches, 1 more slap, 1 knee, then tossed him aside on the kitchen floor. She went to her car and he followed, grabbing the steering wheel. So she dragged him out onto the sidewalk and left him writhing there. Rousey deleted the photos and erased his hard drive. However, fear that the pictures may still be out there influenced her to pose for ESPN magazine's body issues so that nude pictures of her would be seen on her own terms. Rousey faced some criticism that she had committed domestic abuse.